There are tons of business podcasts to choose from, but only one has the stamp of approval. Kristin Stampini is South Florida's leading real estate entrepreneur and your trusted source for everything real estate.
I would like to welcome our listeners and thank you for joining us today for an episode of our podcast, The Stamp of Approval. I'm Kristin Stampini, co-founder of the Stampini team with RE/MAX in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm also a certified real estate coach with the Craig Proctor Systems and the owner of Global Virtual Real Estate Assistants. I'm a national trainer and public speaker, and my husband and Mark and I are real estate investors all over the country. The Stamp of Approval podcast was launched to share and educate other realtors, consumers, and other business owners across North America by sharing value, content to each and one of our listeners every single episode. I share my experiences and my triumphs, my failures and my strengths throughout my entire life with the hope of my audience being able to expand their knowledge on everything real estate, business, sales, and mindset oriented. All I ask is if you like our podcast, please share it with people that you think would like it as well. So today I have a very special guest. Can't wait to introduce her. It's Lori Ballen from Las Vegas, who is an entrepreneur who owns several different businesses, from real estate to shampoo. She earns 6 figures in an affiliate marketing, which I absolutely love that. And Lori's heart really belongs to teaching, which she's phenomenal at. And she often says that money isn't enough. It has to be teachable to matter. You know, her real estate team has closed thousands of transactions, and she regularly ranks in the top 1% of Las Vegas. And her specialty is in search engine and social strategies. Welcome, Lori.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, yes. And I'm excited to have you. So let's talk. Let's start with, you started a long time ago. I mean, you've always done lead generation. That's what you've always done your entire life, right? Even before real estate. So tell us about lead generation.
You know, to me, no matter what niche we're in, no matter what our industry, no matter what our business, we really are in the lead generation business. And that has always been since I was a child selling candy bars and stationery door to door. It always has been about how many leads can I get? Because if I've got enough business, if I have enough leads coming in, I get to choose what my business looks like. I would say that was the first lesson I learned is the ability to choose. If I don't have enough leads, then I'm stuck working with whoever and whatever and however. I have to work on their terms. But if I have the leads, enough leads, I get to choose how I work, when I work, what I do, what I want my business to look like. And so once I realized that there was a choice in that, I just have never stopped being a beast when it comes to lead generation.
You know, and you really are. I mean, we watch you all the time. But the thing that's so funny is everything that you just said is what Craig Proctor and, who I coach for. And that's what he talks about. He says, everybody's in the business of marketing, lead generation or whatever, and whatever business you're in. And just like you, what he always talks about is, you can choose the buyers and sellers that you work with because of your lead generation. And if you don't have lead generation, then you're not able to do that, which is exactly what you just said. So What do you do for lead generation? Because you do it every single day with all of your businesses.
Well, not only do I do it every single day, I do it all day. So I have positioned myself in every one of my businesses to be a full-time lead generator. So I don't work with clients in any of I would say the only business I work with clients in is the shampoo, where I actually take the calls and do the calls and set people up. And right now I'm the consultant, but in all of my other businesses, somebody else is handling the day-to-day operations and working with clients. So I spend every single day generating leads through search engine optimization, blogging, videos, social media, Pinterest, whatever it happens to be, that's where I spend all of my time. Now, I didn't always. When I sold real estate every single day, I spent 3 hours a day, every day, lead generating, which meant I had to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and do my lead gen for 3 hours because my lead gen was blogging and direct mail and things like that. So I would get up from 4 to 7 and I would do that before anybody else woke up, before anybody else emailed me, before they needed anything. So I still got it in. But I earned my way into being able to do it full time.
So do you have to spend a lot of money to lead generate?
No, not the way I do it. In fact, I'm probably I probably spend the least in lead gen when compared to a lot of people in similar industries in what we do. I'm not a big pay-per-click person because I prefer to earn in than buy in. Because what I find is, even though there are some costs, so when I say earn in, I'm talking about I'd rather rank on the search engines. If somebody types in, what is the cost of living in Las Vegas? I want them to be able to find me, and I want to earn in and stay there so that I don't have to pay to stay in that spot. So no matter where I am or what I'm doing or what the budget is, I might spend some money on my web hosting and spend some money on hiring a writer or maybe somebody to help optimize the blog, or maybe I do it all myself and it's just time. But that upfront investment is so much smaller than when I'm just paying for that spot.
Right, because people think that to lead generate, they have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, where they don't. But where do you find that the best lead? Like, what do you do in your day that gives you the best leads?
Well, again, I'm going to say it depends on which business I'm focused on, but they're all pretty similar in that. For real estate specifically, I'm going to say that I spend more time generating for referrals from other real estate agents than I do necessarily just on the blogging and the videos and things for buyers and sellers. So I specifically decided when I got into real estate and at Keller Williams in 2010, I was in real estate before, but in 2010, I made the decision when I saw this massive real estate network that I would do better targeting peer-to-peer other real estate agents for referrals than I would trying to be the one person that dominates the search engines for buyers and sellers because of Zillow, because of Realtor.com, because of those things. So I do both, but I focus mostly. So in that capacity, I'm up in the morning doing Facebook posts and I'm tweeting and I'm teaching real estate agents how to do their business, because in turn they remember me for Las Vegas and they send me more referrals. So that's what my lead generation looks like for that. I'm also up doing blogging and press releases and making videos on, buying a house, first-time home buyer, low down payments, market reports, that kind of thing.
And how did you learn how to do all of that?
Oh, that's a great question. I started when AOL first said, "You've got mail." Before the internet, I was a big direct mail girl. Actually, before direct mail, I was doing faxes. So direct mail and faxes, and it was, how do I create a product and a message and get it out there to my audience, right? So whether it was fax or direct mail or internet or email or Facebook, it's the same concept. Let me find out who is my audience. I think that's one thing that I've done really well is I know who my audience is in every niche, in every business that I'm marketing. I know the avatar. I know what age they are. I know what sex they are. I know what kind of money they make. I know what their problems are. I know where they live. I pay close attention to demographics, who's following me. So I know how to reach that audience with the right product and message.
And how did you figure that out?
My first experience of it, actually, I'm going to say probably as a child selling candy bars, I knew really quick even then which houses, like trick-or-treating, right? When you go trick-or-treating, who gives you the biggest candy bars? Who gives you the full-size M&Ms? Those are the people that have money. So I knew to go to those people to sell my stationery and to sell my candy bars. And then when I was 21 and I met what's now my ex-husband, he had a business that he had started. He was 10 years older than me, and he already had this little catering company. And I remember saying to him, I think I can help you with marketing and get this business off the ground. All I need is a fax machine, and I need a flyer of some sort, and I need to know who your audience, who hires you. And he goes, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, if you look back on your business, who has hired you the last several years?" And he says, "Oh, well, they're human resources directors and they're marketing directors." And I said, "Okay, well then let me figure out how to find them." So what I did is, this was back in the 90s, I opened the newspaper, and in the newspaper they had help wanted ads and who placed the help wanted ads was human resources directors. And inside each one of these ads was a fax number. So I just started faxing all of these human resources directors, and we profited $1 million our first year doing that. But if I had just sent that to everybody, it never would have worked. I knew where to go. And I don't know. I think it's instinct. I think it's instinct. I don't know that I learned it anywhere specifically because I didn't even graduate high school.
Really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. No, I dropped out at 17 to get married.
How How inspiring is that? And then talk about leverage. How are you using it?
I'm definitely a leverage girl. Again, back to childhood. When I started selling candy bars, I recruited my sister, my younger sister, and several people at the school. And I said, look, if you guys help me sell these candy bars, I'll give you XYZ. And I can't even remember what it was. I let them play on my slide, or I whatever it was, something extra that they got to do. And I built this little candy bar team and won all of the candy bar sales and whatever. And it's been that way forever and ever. And when I started the catering company, or started working with my ex-husband, the catering company, we started hiring people instantaneously. What I did was I said, let me find whatever I'm not good at, like cooking. I suck as a chef, and I own a catering company. So I better have some chefs in the kitchen because I'm not going to be able to do that. And my ex-husband wasn't a chef either. So we owned a catering company. Neither one of us could cook. It was funny. But what I could do was marketing, and what he could do was sales. So as long as we had somebody in the kitchen, and then we hired the people to wash the dishes. And then we started hiring the people to go run the events, because we would have multiple events the same day. And then we need people to work the bounce houses and the, truck loaders and unloaders and all of that stuff. And then we had like 100 employees. And then, getting into real estate, it was the same thing. I knew immediately that I did not want to be working with clients. I just knew it. I didn't want to be in sales myself, even though I can sell. I don't want to be in sales. I don't like the whole song and dance of selling. And so I said right out of the gate, you know what, we can go into real estate, but we're gonna build a team. We're gonna have people work for us. And I happened to be at a brokerage that did not allow teams. They didn't even allow teams. So that was a fight. That was a challenge. Okay, let me go build this team. And it was really hard to get profitable because they controlled the splits, what I could charge, what I couldn't charge. So once I moved over to a place where I could start building, then I started really building like a beast, and admins and listing agents and buyer's agents. And even now, I don't sell. I don't work with clients myself. And I have a much smaller team now. It's a completely different model than what I had back in the day. But
so talk about that a little bit.
Well, let me tell you, here's what I found. I found building a team grueling. Not leverage. I'm good at leverage. I found building a real estate team grueling. I felt like I was fighting. I was recruiting massive. I learned early two strategies. One, go hire rock stars, and if you hire rock stars, then you have nothing to worry about. And the other strategy was go build an army, and somebody's going to turn out to be successful. And I tried both. I tried both. I did go find a rock star, but man, I didn't want my full-time job to be a recruiter. Yeah. And to go hire rock stars, that means you got to be talking to a lot of people, right? So then I switched over to okay, let me build an army, the Ben Kinney model. Let me go build an army. And I hated it. I could do it with my eyes closed. I can attract people, no problem. But I did not want to be there every day trying to get people to to either do things to follow a certain level of standards, or I don't know. I don't want to get into all of it, but it was hard. I just found it really grueling.
You weren't passionate about it, and you can tell with you, Lori, the things that you're passionate about. You're all in, and you weren't, right. You found that was not your passion.
I was not, and I don't want to be. I didn't want to be a 24-hour guidance counselor or recruiter, or, I just didn't want to do that every day. And on top of that, I was loving the marketing end of it. And I wanted more time to do the marketing part of it, lead gen, right?
Right.
So I also found that even though I had this massive, big team, we were doing 100 transactions, it wasn't super profitable. And by the time all the splits are done and all the admin and then paying for other people's mistakes and licenses and coaching and all the stuff that I was doing, I just wasn't keeping a lot at the end of the day. So now I'm miserable and I'm not making a ton of money. And I'm getting all the awards. I'm interviewed by Gary Keller. But I'm still miserable. I'm gaining weight. I just was not very happy.
Well, and you know what? It's true because so many real estate agents out there that are working so hard, that's the problem, is the profitability, right?
It is. And people don't talk about it. I know, oh my gosh, do I know people that are just bleeding? I call it bleeding. They are just bleeding. They're one step away from being dead, and they're getting every award on the right. They're the ones being paraded across the stage, but they'll tell me on the side, "Oh my God!" And I go, "I get it. Me too." Now I still talked about being broke on the stage because I'm just honest like that. But
well, you're just open. You're just an open book, and you always have been.
Totally.
So you do share, but because I coach 70 people, all around North America, I do. I mean, I work with people I coach people that are making $2, $3, $4, $5 million, and then when I talk to them, the profitability is, sometimes they go and they don't make anything, and these are people that are like in the top 10 in the country that have, so I get, and then, working so hard and no profitability and everything else is tough. It's a tough boat. So I get that.
It's not their fault. It's not our fault. It's you go into real estate to sell houses. Right. You don't necessarily understand every concept about business and P&L, and you want to invest in your team. You want to invest in other people. You think if I spend $100,000 on geographic farming this year that it's going to return blah, blah, blah. And you just don't understand all those concepts, and it doesn't always return. It doesn't mean you didn't get the leads. Maybe you don't have a great lead conversion funnel. Maybe you don't have great agents that can convert. Maybe you're spending more than you should there's just so much, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's really funny because that's what I always talk about is that people are there and when they get into real estate, they get into sales, and it's exactly what they don't know is the business aspect of it and profitability. And like I talk about, because I ran restaurants for 17 years, that's what I did. And so that's what people come to me and I help them with profitability and everything else because of exactly what you're talking about is they can sell the heck out of anything and they can do it well and they can do it a lot. But when it comes, they just never have done that before. So with your lead generation and leverage and everything that you're doing, just tell us a couple things out there for our listeners, if they're real estate agents or other business owners of other, companies like you are. I mean, how many companies do you have?
Well, I have 2 LLCs and 5 DBAs.
Okay.
So 5 different brands that are within the 7 streams of income.
Yeah. And the thing is you're lead generating for each one, and lead generation's lead generation, right?
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
But you're able to do the same thing, but now you're doing it for all the companies.
Yeah. And I would say the top strategy that I use across my channels. So I do shampoo, I do real estate, I own a marketing company. I do the keto weight loss coaching. I'm a speaker trainer. I'm a 6-figure affiliate marketer. And then my 7th stream is investments, right? So the same strategy that applies to all of those brands that I generate business through lead gen is solving problems for your consumer. Okay. What is it? What's the problem that they have? How can I help them solve it? Whether that's through YouTube videos, it's through blogging, it's through newsletters, it's through personal networking events, dinners, open houses, social media. It doesn't matter. How do I reach that audience? So one is identifying who your audience is, and that's what most people don't do.
That's right. Your ideal customer, you got to know who that is.
Yeah. Who is it? Who is it? What age group? Where do they live? How much money do they make? Because you can't answer their problems if you don't know who they are.
Yep.
So you got to know who they are. So one of my, my affiliate marketing, my six figures I make in affiliate marketing. Well, my audience is the small business owner. It's going to be real estate agents. It's going to be startups. It's going to be the plastic surgeon with 3 people in their office. It's, it's a small, very small business. And they have a lot of the same types of problems: time, leverage, right?
Yeah.
Software. How do I use you? My plastic surgeon doesn't have the first idea how to use YouTube, right? They have the same problems. So I teach. Let me teach them how to do these kind of things. What are their problems? They all have the same kind of problems. Let me help them get more leads. Let me help them with their websites. Let me help them with it. And that's how I earn that. You know, in real estate, I know that it's my typical buyer is a 45-year-old person, male, female, couples, 45-year-old. And in most of my cases, they are move down sellers because they're booming, right? Baby boomers, or kids are growing up, they're leaving, they're going to whatever, or they're first-time home buyers or investment people that are moving to Las Vegas. So those are kind of the avatars. So I answer questions related to what is that baby boomer, what is that person that's empty nester, what are they going through right now, what are they feeling, what are their challenges, what are their problems. They're going to be completely different than a first-time home buyer, right?
Yeah.
So I answer their questions in video, on blogs, on social media posts, direct mail, newsletters, whatever it is applies that reaches that particular person. Podcasts, we do podcasts, you know, same concept. So it really crosses over all of those, whatever it is that I'm doing. I just know who the audience is, and then I answer their problems.
Yeah. So she's, you know, you make it sound simple, and it really is, right? But you have to know your ideal customer. You have to target that market and answer their problems. And
yeah, you have to know, one of the reasons why we have to know the ideal target is we need to know where they are, right? If my consumer is going to be a 16-year-old, I got to be on Snapchat.
Instagram.
Snapchat.
Oh, and Instagram, yeah.
No, they're not even on Instagram.
Oh, 16, yeah, okay. Right.
Right? But there are people that are targeting the 16-year-olds. They're going to buy T-shirts online on Amazon or play their video games or whatever, right? If I'm targeting first-time home buyers, millennials, I'm on Instagram. If I'm targeting the 45-year-old that's in my demographic, they're on Facebook. They're on YouTube, right? Completely different. I have to know where they are, how to reach them. My teenager, as a matter of fact, believe it or not, this is just crazy, but my 16-year-old makes a ton of money. And she's 15. She makes money through Twitter selling art.
Wow.
And she's on Twitter. So if I knew that, if I know that I want to, that reach this 16-year-old that's starting her own business online, I'm going to go on Twitter. But I only know that because she tells me. But there's data and there's research and there's tools that show us where our people are. So we have to be where they are, and we have to be speaking their language and helping them with their problems.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Lori. So tell everybody where you are. Lori does, she does all the businesses she talked about, but also she takes obviously real estate referrals for sure. And, Keto Coach. And she also does great webinars online, right, too, and in person. But you can take webinars online as well. So give them your contact information to be able to do that.
Yep. I own a digital marketing company called Ballen Brands. So we build websites, we do blogs, pay-per-click marketing, all of that. So that's the quickest, easiest place to find me. BallenBrands.com. LoriBallen.com is my blog, training, just kind of follow along that. And from there, you'll find all of my other networks. I'm on Facebook, Lori Ballen.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. It was invaluable information today. We thank you so much, and thank my listeners. And we'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.